us. We are so excited to have you here. Art of Freelance is a 10-week workshop for those of you who don't know. And together we did a series of exercises, identified big goals, broke down those into projects that would bring us closer to the goal, checked in each week where we could focus on a group with accountability and support each other through it, because we all know that there are some road bumps on the way to making our goals happen. We also want to give a big shout out right now to Space for Arts, who provided a scholarship for 13 people to be able to do Art of Freelance. So thank you, Space for Arts. We love you. And also a note to all of you who don't really know anything about Art of Freelance. Some of these projects are works in progress. We really encourage that. We're here to have people take steps towards their goals, like I said earlier. And so not all of these are going to be squeaky finished projects, but we're excited to see them and we're so excited to share them. And we're going to have 3-minute presentations from each of the cohorts, or from each individual in the cohort. And also at the end, they usually will go ahead and give you some info about themselves, but we encourage you to follow everyone on Instagram, especially because you're going to see these people do amazing things after these projects, not just the projects tonight. And also follow us on Instagram, Art of Freelance. You can check out our website, artoffreelance.com. And to kick off the night, I have someone from my group with beautiful, beautiful work. Angelica, you're up first. Give her a go.
Hi, everyone. Hopefully everyone can hear me. I'm going to share my screen and play. So, good evening, everyone. Thank you all for tuning in. My name is Angelica Hardiel, and I'm a New York City-based portrait and fashion photographer. This is my second time being in Art of Freelance, and I decided to continue the project I embarked on during the last session. It's a portrait series about intimate relationships of all kinds, titled The Things We Do to Each Other. This is an ongoing project, and I plan to continue it until I reach 143 relationships. 143 meaning I love you if you grew up in the 90s and had a beeper. The people in the following images were interviewed about their relationship, and then we collaboratively came up with poses that express the relationship and the things these people do to each other, for each other, or with each other. I'm seeking to find what is unique to each relationship, yet also universal to all human beings. I hope to demonstrate our interconnectedness and the things we have in common. So this first relationship is Amaris and Jazz. They're sisters who are best friends now that they're in their young adulthood, but they weren't always this close. They told me a story of Amaris getting kicked out of their mom's house during her freshman year of high school and going to live with Jazz, who was a freshman in college at the time. Jazz lives in Brooklyn, New York, and Amaris lives in Atlanta, Georgia, and I happened to schedule the shoot for when Amaris was in town. So they hold each other. They struggle with each other, open up to each other, and save each other. And this is Jessica and Jenny, also sisters and best friends, but also apartment mates. This was shot in their sunroom in LA, and they're known in their friend groups for being like twins and always knowing what the other's thinking. Their mother instilled in them that since they're sisters, they should also be best friends. They ascend with each other and are one with each other. Shivy and Jake are husband and wife and expecting a baby any day now. This was shot in their new home in LA, and they're originally from England, and it all began with a mere oi from Jake to Shivy. They dream with each other. They comfort each other, listen to each other, and carry each other. And finally, we have Lloyd and Althea, who are lovers, best friends, and style inspiration to each other. They have been in a long distance relationship for some time, and I managed to do the shoot when Althea was visiting from Portland. They warm each other, complement each other. They found each other, and they ground each other. And that concludes my project. Thank you all so much for your attention. Feel free to reach out, hire me, be a part of this project. That's it. Thank you so much.
Yay.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Start.
So dope.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Angelica. Next from my group, we have Hal.
Thank you, Linnea. Hey, everyone, I'm Hal. I'm here in Los Angeles, California. A little bit of backstory about my project. I actually did a music video back in 2017 for a local artist here. And for my Art of Freelance project, I wanted to take on this same video, but kind of bring in a different element to it. So I commissioned a local dancer and had her choreograph a piece that I was going to then intercut with the existing video that I had shot so many years ago. So here it is. It's a remake of a Jill Scott song called Hear My Call. Okay, hope you like it. Here we go. Let me share my screen. Share sound. Share. Hope you can see that okay.
Here I am again, asking questions, waiting to be moved. I am so unsure of my perception. What I thought I knew, I don't seem to. Where is the so I can get back to what I believe in, back to the old me and God. Please hear my call. I am afraid for me. Love has burned me raw. I need your healing, please, please, please. I am such a fool. How did I get here? Played by all the rules, then they changed. I am but a child to your vision, standing in the cold and the rain, lost here in the dark. I can't see my foot to take a step. What is happening? Oh, this hurts so bad, I can hardly
Okay, thank you so much for watching. If you're in the Los Angeles area, I'm always up and willing to look for some really cool collabs with all of you. So thank you so much.
Yay!
So cool.
Really
All right.
lovely.
So cool. Wow.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Al. All right, next up we have Ross, some more video.
Hey everyone, my name is Ross Fury. I'm a photographer from Chicago. Photographer, and I've been working on becoming a video director the last couple of years. But I've done a fair amount of video projects for fun and a few for work. I'm going to share my screen. As far as photography goes, I do a lot of documentary portraits of kind of people I meet on road trips around the country. This is just like a brief overview of stuff on my website. And then I also do some more like conceptual narrative staged work with like a lot of dramatic lighting. And then I also do some humorous stuff that's a little more lighthearted and some commercial work. So with my video stuff, I've been doing a range of that too, but I've been struggling to find a way to like tie it all together and present it because it's also different. So for my project this semester, I focused on making a director's reel with a lot of the video projects that I've worked on over the last 5 years. And so here's a little minute-and-a-half sample of all my video work. And it's a mixture of documentary stuff, some music videos, and some more narrative stuff. And I'm starting to write songs of my own and make my own music videos. So you'll see a little teaser of one of those towards the end. All right, so yeah, that's my presentation. I'll post a link on Vimeo if anyone wants to watch that reel because it won't be on my website till next year or for the next month or so. So thanks.
Yeah, thanks so much, Ross.
Nice. Awesome.
All right, up next we have Fernando.
Hey guys. All right. Hi guys, my name is Fernando Guerrero. I'm from Anaheim, California. This is my second time doing Art of Freelance, and today I'm going to be showcasing new work for my website, guerrerophotos.com, and the website's going to be ready in a few months. Oops. All right, guys. Sorry about that. So this is a start of my work. I love my style to be full of contrast, the sense of hyper-reality, surrealism meets minimalism. Sometimes I like it to be dark. I love playing with themes and glamour, keeping things very cute and sexy, dark and fun. These were photos that I showcased last time around in Art of Freelance, and I'm introducing those today because those will also be a part of my portfolio for guerrerophotos.com. But I wanted to show them because they've been modernized, and they added a touch of color from a friend in the UK named Rudy. So the goal of mine would always be to exhibit my work in fine art in art fairs and in galleries, and I'm currently doing a 6-month mentorship with Chris Davies. This goes back to how I love to play with either confidence or depression. This idea of red pill, blue pill. And then again, keeping it very minimalism to ask more questions. And I love the idea of playing with pulp culture. There's a sense of being able to connect with history, almost learn from it, to be able to grow from it, but more importantly, kind of escape. And it's a great way for the youth to kind of ask more questions, knowing that we're never going to go back there, but at the same time, we can learn whether it's from the music, whether it's from cartoons, as in this photo, Daphne. This is just some of my music work that I'm going to be also including in my website. And I'll end with these two photos right here. This photo is just a perfect example of what I was trying to get of the game of telephone, how different generations play off each other and how different, how almost the decades kind of connect with one another. And so the whole goal is to basically learn from each decade and kind of make it a better place for everyone. And I'll end with these two photos because I've always had this fascination with abundance and materialism and what direction are we going for in the future. I think from a teenage point of view, it does feel like too much and I can understand why they're stressed. But I think overall, the best way to conquer that is to tune into the arts, music, things like that, because it does provide a healthier way of going forward. So in a way, understanding our past to basically provide a better future. So thank you guys so much. If you'd like to support in any way possible, the website's going to be ready in a few more months. But for now, you could go on the Instagram and the Instagram will have details on when the website's going to launch. So thank you guys so much. My name is Fernando Guerrero, and thank you for having me.
Awesome.
Nice. Nice work.
Fernando. Thanks, Fernando. Okay, up is Xiaofan.
Could everyone see my screen without obstruction? Cool, thanks. Yeah, hi everyone, really nice to meet you all. My name is Xiaofan. I am a photographer from Xiamen Island in China, but I'm calling in from Brooklyn. So yeah, I actually studied and worked as a software engineer for a few years first. But during the pandemic, I actually enrolled in City College of San Francisco as a full-time student in photography.
Second one, we're up. So where are you?
I'm listening. I can turn my camera.
All good here. All right. Yeah, so on the left is my first photo series in Bloom. I featured women of color and a flower of their choice. Nature is also a huge inspiration for me. So for my project, I wanted to do a fashion shoot in nature with special attention to color and the conversation hopefully I can show between the people and the fashion and the surrounding. And yeah, here's some photos from my shoot. I wouldn't have attempted this project without Art of Freelance pushing me quite a bit. My previous project, In Bloom, had much simpler production. But for this one, I was the photographer and the producer and the stylist. So many roles I haven't taken before. And many aspects were completely new to me. It was my first time putting together and working with a team. So I was really nervous at the beginning of each step involved, but survived and learned a lot for the whole process. Yeah, it's important to keep your models warm with a pile of jackets and just hot drinks nonstop. I gained a lot of confidence in my photography through this project. I definitely feel a lot more comfortable committing to a larger project and just manage the whole timeline. There's still a few things I want to incorporate into my next shoot. I want to collaborate with people around the world from different backgrounds. So if you're interested, please definitely reach out. Yeah, I want to incorporate some cultural elements from my upbringing in China. and the cultures from my collaborators. It would also be super cool if I could use my coding backgrounds and to make some of these prints have the generative coding aspect to it. Yeah, these are the last photos I'm gonna show. I'm really new to photography in this world, so just love to make friends and build community. Right now, I am living in a different city every couple of months, which is very exciting for me, but also a great opportunity to meet people in person. Please say hi in chat or Instagram. Just love to have any conversation and hear about what you are excited to do, and maybe we can brainstorm and work together. Email, website, Instagram, all here. And thank you so much for your time.
Yay, Shilpa!
Oh, beautiful.
So good. Excellent. Thank you so much, Xiaopan. All right, I believe that is it from my group, except for me. Yeah, I guess I'll just get going. So my name is Linnea Bullion. I'm a photographer based in Los Angeles. This is my third time doing Art of Freelance, second time as a guide. And I did something a little bit different this time around. So in the previous terms of Art of Freelance, I've done this alliterative photo series that is still going on. It's still a thing. But this time around, I actually wanted to take the time to finally tackle this skateboarding contest in Copenhagen. I shoot every year and I make a book from every year. And I was super behind on all of the editing for that. So I used these 10 weeks with Art of Freelance and my wonderful cohort to get me to finally work on these photos. And that is what I will be sharing with you today. So here we go. Yeah, so like I said, this is a skate contest I photograph every year, and I make a small zine every year. It's a little bit different than a lot of my other work where it's purely documentary. I think a lot more of my other work kind of incorporates a little bit more styling and direction. And this is kind of my true to form. I fell in love with photography, wanting to be a photojournalist. And so this is my one time a year I really, really get to just purely do that again. So these are all 2 pages, just so you know that. And I'm still in the middle of ordering everything, but for right now, I'm just getting things into the book. So there's not much skateboarding, as you can actually tell. I like to mostly focus on kind of the people and the vibe of skate culture. I've been shooting skate culture for about 10 years now, actually. And yeah, I think it's a really fascinating culture, and I love just kind of all the little weird in-between moments that happen. And one of the things we joke about this contest is that it's more like a party disguised as a skate contest, and the contest is just an excuse for us. I call it adult summer camp, where I get to go see my friends every year. So that's what I have so far. You can follow me on Instagram. Most of my work won't look anything like that. But yeah, I will have the book out probably in the next month or so. I'll send it to print and you can grab a copy through me. I'll be posting updates on Instagram. So thanks so much.
Yeah.
Give me a copy.
Okay, and next up, we are going to hear from Betsy and Van, who, as Linnea mentioned at the top, do a lot to support Art of Freelance, help make it happen, and help a lot of people participate in the workshop. And we're very thankful for their support. So we're going to have a short video here, and then we'll hear from Betsy and Van.
Everyone, and it's amazing to see some familiar faces from the Art of Freelance portfolio reviews. So I'm glad to see the community continue to be united. So my name is Claudio de la Rosa. I'm a freelance photographer based in New York City, and I started this photo journey approximately 4 years ago after being in the banking space for a little over a decade. I just felt that I needed a bit of a change creatively and bring some more spice to my life. So now I join all of you in this crazy yet exciting world of creation, right? And this artist mentality where we want to showcase our work and obviously make money off of it. So with that said, I love shooting people. I love shooting sports. Tapping more into the active lifestyle commercial side of photography. So given my background, a lot of my contacts have been in the financial industry, which don't always are the best resource when you're trying to do creative projects. So as part of my project, what I did to what Marcia helped me formulate was a marketing strategy and building a contact list for different individuals for the companies for which I would like to work for ultimately. So what I am going to present to you is a bit of a pitch book to a degree of images that I will be, or a presentation that I will be sending to different companies to just introduce them to my work. So with that said, let me see if this works for me. Let me try to click share sound. Oh, it's asking me for a password. Oh, sorry, give me 1 second. Can you all see my background? We're good? All right, so let's start. Whoops, get back there. Boom. So the idea is to send this in an electronic format, so it's more of a PowerPoint presentation versus just static PDF document. So upon receiving the link and my quick little blurb, this is what they the viewer would see. So in this case, I use Jackrabbit as a sample company that I've reached out to because I have quite a number of running images. It's pretty easy to shoot people running. So with that said, you will see more of my images. And I try to incorporate a little bit of indoor and outdoor, especially living in New York City. Everyone is in love with the city, so I like to showcase that a bit. And that concludes my presentation. So thank you to Marsha and the team for hearing me out and the frustrations that I sometimes share, as we can all share with photography and booking clients, but I really appreciate the time and patience. That is all.
Woohoo! All right, Claudio!
Claudio!
Awesome!
Awesome. Everyone, Claudio's blowing up pretty fast. So
Stop it,
Marsha.
Marsha.
On your radar very quickly. Yeah, but I'm so happy that we had these 10 weeks together. So next up is Joya, who is based in Vermont, and she's a fine art and editorial photographer with a focus on environmental and social justice issues. And take it away.
Great, thank you. I'm going to start with a project that I have been, it's a long-term project of mine. Can everybody hear me all right? Okay, good. Sorry, I thought for a minute I was on mute. This is a project on trees that I've been working on for a few years, and I expect to be working on this across the United States in the next few months because of COVID, the Midwest, the West, and the Southwest. And basically these are product of my ethnoecology background, and this one actually happens to be in Belarus, so probably there were immigrants that were in this forest using this road to try to get into Poland. A lot of the other ones are in the United States already. This happens to be in Vermont. My focus on trees is mostly because of the fact that they represent probably the best way that we can counteract climate change right now. And so that is the reason why I want to focus on communities and the people and the different types of trees that might have problems with, their ecological niches. This happens to be on Cape Cod, beautiful, amazing sunlight. If anybody hasn't ever been to Cape Cod, I've decided it is the new it's the East New West because it reminds me of LA, the light that exists in Cape Cod. This happens to be in the White Mountain National Forest in New Hampshire. Back to Poland in the suburbs, some of the beautiful forests and parks. I mean, parks are a place where trees and forests often are and go underappreciated, but really actually do an amazing job of sequestering carbon. This is back in North Carolina. Longleaf pines, which used to inhabit 90 million acres of the southeast, and now it is reduced to 3% of that. White birches, ubiquitous around the circumpolar north. Here we are in Vermont, in the ski slopes, and this is another way that people enjoy the woods. This is the Green Mountain National Forest. And then back to Poland, this happens to be a 700-year-old tree that fell about 50 years ago. And the fungi that exists on top of it, if those of you aren't aware, the fungi is a way, or mushrooms are a way that trees communicate to one another. And I believe very strongly in the fact that trees have always been very important to the human race. So I'm hoping that I do mostly documentary and, as Marsha said, editorial work, social justice movements for sure. This is my Art of Freelance project was based on getting my portfolio together so that I can revamp my website. My website is woefully outdated. So this is a grouping of people shots that that are from actually across the world. Let me go up a little bit more, probably can see it better. And hopefully showcases my abilities to catch people and make people at ease with me as a photographer being in their face. I love people.
We're seeing you and not your screen right now.
Oh my gosh, really? Oh,
it happened just past the mushrooms.
Oh, just past the mushrooms. Okay, got it. Thank you so much. Let me go back. I apologize. Let's see, how can I get there? Thank you so much for telling me that. Technical difficulties, people portfolio. There we go. There we go. Now you can see the people. Little person there. Women's work, washing windows in Warsaw, WWW. And then these are more people in different scenarios. I don't know, I lost track of my time there. This happens to be somebody who worked in the coal mines in Poland. So, and then I did do a big project on a woman who had IBS breast cancer and photographed her and her daughter, and as well as the process of a double mastectomy. So I don't always stay in the woods. Mushroom picking, again, those darn fungi. Women in female empowerment. This happens to be right near me, and that actually is my daughter cooling off. People have youngins. It's been the pandemic has certainly been a hard time for many of them. And I am an avid skier and like going up on the mountain on days like this and even bring my camera. Let's see, what else can I say about some of this? Oh yes, even Vermont had to bring out the police during January 17th when the right-wing folks were trying to take over state houses. Nothing really happened. The interesting thing of note here is this is an Italian sculptor who did the sculpture behind these policemen, Ethan Allen, if anybody is familiar with him. He successfully took over Fort Ticonderoga in the American Revolution, but because he was such a belligerent man, he basically was ousted from politics. Another project that I did having to do with cancer. Environmental problems, and then of course something that is all near and dear to everybody's hearts this year with COVID happening and rampantly taking over people's lives, killing them. And then no beach is the same twice. No beach is the same twice, yes. So that is all I have to share. So I'm hopefully gonna get all of this up on a website soon. We'll see.
Awesome. Thank you, Joya. Tour Joy is up next. I think it's almost 8 a.m. in Bangladesh, if I'm not mistaken. So he's having his coffee and joining us. And he is a Nat Geo photographer and also does some work for the Washington Post and does really cool long-term documentary projects. So I'm excited for you guys to see this. George, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me? Okay, so yeah, mostly I work on documentary photography project and photojournalism project, but at the same time, I also like to work on like conceptual, really experimental work. And I have produced this conceptual photography project that I'm sharing right now. This project is about the world leaders. Can you see the screen? Okay, great. The photographs depict the personality portraits of the world leaders of the unprecedented coronavirus pandemic. The pictures are captured with a camera from the monitor when these leaders were addressing the nation, giving coronavirus speeches. The expressions in these portraits show how the leaders have responded to the critical situation. This body of work is not only a record of the historical moment, the sophisticatedly out-of-focus portraits also represent the virtual relationship between the people and their leaders. And observing these portraits from a certain distance is required to get the clarity, and more it gets closer, the more obscure it becomes. And getting that perfectly blurry faces where it doesn't lose the identity at the same time creates a virtual and surreal feeling was a long trial and error process with manual focusing. It's very tricky since a threat of eyesight damage is also involved in this process of making such images. And it took around 2 days for each portrait. And during the Art of Freelance session, I have produced 20 portraits like this of this project. And this work is best experienced in large-scale prints in a gallery setup. But I also have designed a book so that people can have an experience of this project in their hand. And this is not any traditional book. This is more like an art object that looks very serious, feels very powerful, and at the same time very playful. Through this book, I want to give people the unique experience of holding all the world leaders literally in their hand. It's kind of a little play with the reverse power dynamics. And the photographs are presented in the accordion fold so that people can have their own kind of little installation on the table. And this accordion fold also can be applicable for large-scale installation in outdoors or galleries. And this is basically a concept design. You're seeing that it's just 3D images. It's not in real. So I would definitely love to publish this, and I would love to take this project forward. And I would like to collaborate with different gallerists and curators, magazine and book publishers, so that I can make it happen. And if you're one of them, or you know someone who might be interested in this, or if you feel to share your thoughts about this project, just feel free to knock me. I will be promoting this work on social media very soon. And here you go. That's my Instagram and that's my website. You can see my other work as well. So stay tuned. Thank you.
Awesome. So good. Thank you, Turjoy. So, hey, everyone. I'm Marcia, and those were some of the fabulous people in my group. And there were a few other fabulous people who aren't presenting tonight. But I am based in New York, and I'm a reportage, fashion, and portrait photographer. I did not work on a project these last 10 weeks because I had the busiest year of my photography career, which is now about 5 years. And I also did Art of Freelance about a year ago. So I don't know if that's a coincidence or if that's some like voodoo mind mapping I did a year ago. But anyway, it's been a busy year, but I did do, but let's talk about what I did do. I did update one part of my website, which I thought I would share with you. So I'm going to share my screen now. Can you guys see it? Yeah. Okay. So, well, this is some of the fashion stuff, but I started doing collage work just to kind of do something tactile and just as a way to relax. And it was just personal work. And I used photos of mine from fashion shoots from Fashion Week, and I coupled them with travel photos. So this is just a mix of that work. And a lot of these are some runway and backstage photos from New York Fashion Week. This is a picture from a fashion show and just travel photo from London. This was at the height of the pandemic, since I wasn't able, I've shot maybe 15 seasons of Fashion Week for a magazine. And at the height of the pandemic, when they weren't giving any access to photographers, I was just imagining what virtual shows might be like. So I just took these are just some found photos that I collaged with some fashion photos of mine. So I just did a few of these and just kind of a play on what it would be like to watch a show from home. This is more of the same, but I really was hoping that someone would, and these are all, again, this is all personal work, and I was really hoping that someone would commission me for collage work. And then maybe April or at some point in the spring, I got an email from Travel and Leisure that they were doing a 50th anniversary issue, which would be the August issue. And they asked me if I would do the fashion shoot, which would be an homage to 5 decades of fashion. And then if I could make collages with the images from the shoot, and they would give me a hotel to couple with each decade. So I had my first editorial was a 5-page spread in Travel and Leisure in the print magazine, which was really cool. And I was so excited that I actually thought the email I got from the editor initially was a scam because there were scams going around during the pandemic. And it was just, to me, like the most perfect assignment to do the shoot and the collage. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know if not that I believe in manifesting in some like, just kind of close your eyes and snap your fingers away, but I really was hoping to get some work from my personal work. So I also wanted to share this. If there's anyone out there that's really into like something on the side that is really not part of their assignment work, just keep doing it and you never know. So I'm just going to quickly in the last couple of seconds go through this. So this was for the 70s and this was coupled with a hotel in Morocco. And like I said before, for personal work, I like to do paper collages. I like the act of ripping paper and kind of using adhesive and putting it all together. But because this was going in a magazine, I did a few mock-ups and it made sense that the images of the model are digital images, but the hotel, that's all paper that I printed, ripped, and put together. And then I imported that into Photoshop and then dropped the model in. So this is 70s, 80s on the left, 90s on the right, and then into the 2000s on the left and post 2010 on the right. And that's it. Thank you.
Awesome. Just awesome.
All right, and my group is next, and I'm Danielle. Second time doing Art of Freelance and first time leading the group. So first up in my group is going to be Dory, and she is the host and all-around genius of Drinking with Dory, and she'll be your first person going.
There I am. Hi, how's it going? As Danielle said, I'm Dory, and this is my second time doing the Art of Freelance workshop, and I couldn't be happier that I did. Like Marcia, this time 365 days ago, I was presenting my first episode of my talk show, Drinking with Dory. Cheers. And after taping 14 episodes, launching an IGTV channel, a YouTube channel, and even figuring out how to use Google Ads, I can safely say that my first project was a success. And this time around, my project was to launch season 2 of Drinkin' by building a website, as you can see here, as well as writing and filming a sizzle reel specifically to send to publicists and potential guests. And I can show you a little taste of that sizzle right now, but just a heads up, if you have any sensitive ears present, just So, there's some light cussing and lots of drinking. And also, I personally would love it if you could all unmute so that I can hear which parts y'all like the best. Ah, it was here the whole time. Gotcha. Here we go. Oh, hi. I didn't see you come in. I'm Dory, writer, comedian, and two-time Emmy winner from the fabulously popular landmark TV show, All in the Family. And I just finished the first season of my show, Drinking with Dory.
Oh my God, Dory Greenberg?
Yes, do I know you? ADD, OCD, anxiety-laden, depressed bitch.
Dory has these farts that smell very specific.
That's a really good question. Thank you, I'm professional. The show where the drinks drive the conversation, and it takes you inside the minds of my guests in ways you've never seen before. Now, I could talk to you about the analytics of the show, examine how the fans engage with the episodes, the run a show process, but let's face reality. We're all busy businesswomen here, and businessmen. Hi, boys. And we're here for one reason and one reason only. To watch people drink shit and talk shit.
Hey, drinking is half the bottle, am I right?
Asian people love tequila. Drink your milk. Drink your milk.
Alcohol brings everyone together. Does it thou matter which type? And I'm not doing that schlocky talk show chit chat, okay? I'm talking about big chat, wild chat. So forget dumb questions, forget what inspired you bullshit. Does drinking red wine make you a better mom? Have you ever been intoxicated on a horse? If you really did have to eat your head, what drink do you think would pair well with it? What is your stance on booze poops, aka whiskey shits? Does it taste better knowing that you have her man? Okay, so we're gonna stop it there.
That's crazy.
In case y'all didn't know, that's who I am. And I highly encourage you to please follow my YouTube channel. Wow, 184 subscribers. I didn't even know it was that high. And also to please follow me on Instagram. I'm going to keep making things, I promise. I just finished an awful job. But thank you so much to my cohort. What a lovely group of ladies. And many cheers and good tidings to y'all.
All right, and next up for my group, we have Gabrielle, who has been working on a podcast that she started, and I will let her take it from here. Go ahead, Gabrielle.
Okay. Where am I? Oh, well. So fun to follow Dory. So I am on my second go round with Art of Freelance, and I think it's really helped me to stay in the game with this project. It's been ongoing for a long time, and through my work last time, I was able to find a great platform. I'm in the East Bay area. It's an artist music radio station, and they're up for hosting it and letting it be whatever it needs to be. And I've just found it kind of challenging to get things done and parents and COVID and all of that. So this was, I think, my final push to get it out in the world as a podcast, and mostly there. So I'll play for you guys a little bit of what it sounds like. Oh, let's see.
It happened when I was very little, but I can't remember how old, maybe 5, 6. I was swimming in a lake, relaxing, and she was sitting on the beach waiting for me to get out. And then I remember just sitting there and talking to her and saying, "Mom, I love you. And I will never, ever leave you." And she said, "Yes, you will." And I think I started crying, or I just didn't understand what she meant. I was like, "No, I don't want to leave you. And she's like, well, you will leave me one day. And I just, there's this image of me lying down, my head on her lap, and looking up at her face with the sun behind her head. And that is how I always think of her. Doesn't matter that it's like, what, 30 years later, 30, 40 years later, that's how I see her. And that's how I want to see her.
Okay. So I realized I didn't tell you what the podcast was about. So it's about how people grow up. And I talk to people from all over the world, all different ages, and they share things that are relatable across all those different boundaries, and then things that are very specific that have more to do with the era they were growing up in. Sometimes it's politics, it can be TV shows, literature, all that kind of stuff. And I want to share with you guys too the radio station that's going to be hosting me, because I think this might be interesting for you and maybe your circle out there. They really encourage people who have an artistic approach to DJing, music, and podcasting. It's called BFF-FM. So Ray's podcast will be starting there next month-ish. Let me share the screen and I'll show you BFF. All right. So that's the Ray's project on my website. And then can you see that? BFF, yay. Okay, cool. So glad. So I hope you check it out. Thank you.
Yay!
So nervous.
You did it.
Okay, and next up in my group is going to be Nasra, and she's an amazing photographer, and we've been going on a journey with her through this whole cohort and her book, so I can't wait for you to see her work.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much, Danielle. Okay, let me just share my screen. Okay, you can all see it, right? Okay, great. So yeah, I'm Nazra. I'm an artist working with photography, augmented reality, virtual reality, and collage, but primarily photo-based processes. And before I proceed, I just want to say, like, I'm genuinely gutted this is like coming to an end, because I feel like I've had such a blast with our cohort, and I feel like I was just like starting to get acquainted with everyone. So I'd like to lobby to make this longer. But yeah, let's start. Yeah, so for the last 10 weeks, I've primarily been working on my first photo book, which is called Enclaves. This is just the working title. It's still in like very early stages right now. And I did receive funding, and like I've been part of a group with PH Museum in Italy, where I'll be showcasing a dummy version of this book in fall of next year. So yeah, like the concept of enclaves is really fascinating to me, especially in relation to a book form, because a book is essentially like a self-contained object. And in relation to my body of work, enclaves can encapsulate manufactured utopias. I'm using the book as an extension of my practice and definitely a tool to push experimentation and inquiry. I think enclaves can also be created to hypnotize and oscillate between respite and chaos. They can facilitate an exploration of artifice and hyperreality. And for this particular book, I'm playing with transparency, like in terms of like the formal like display, but I'd like to split it into 3 primary sections, which would be spurious, sensory, and sublime, which I thought encompassed my work. So the spurious is addressing artifice and the hyperreal. Sensory includes work that build like claustrophobic cornucopia and sort of subvert the language of commerce. And the sublime images are an exploration of the transcendent and like fragmented images that are more dreamlike. And also material culture is very integral to my work. Some recurring themes that I explore are critiques of like consumer culture, and exploration of excess through building like tableaus, and definitely an interplay of the real, artificial, and hyper-real. And there's always an element of the fantastical. Also like the visual culture of India definitely informs my work, and like South Asian, like the whole kaleidoscope of like South Asian diaspora and identity, as well as the element of color. In regards to color, like I'm very intrigued by like how mutable like cultural meanings are, and like how color can be employed to convey the sublime. It can be like versed in like the enticing language of commerce, and then also suddenly be extracted from the narrative to like contaminate the imagery. And I think the book form really lends itself to that kind of experimentation. Yes, but this is of course just like very early stages. And yeah, like before I wrap up, I'd love to share some resources with you that I've compiled. I know like a lot of us are on our bookmaking journeys. Yasmin, I know, and it seems to her joy as well. So I just thought it would be helpful. These are like some on-demand printers and like some workshops that have really helped me like finesse my work. But yeah, I just thought I'd share it with the group. Yeah. And if you'd like to stay in touch, you can find me on these platforms. Yeah, I'm like so anxious and I feel like it's been sensory overload, but yeah, thank you.
Yay.
Great job.
Yeah.
Yay.
Great.
That's so good.
Great.
Oh, good.
All right, and yeah, you can see why we all stand Nazareth so hard in our group. So, and the next person up is going to be Yasmin, and she's a photographer working on a project about pregnancy, postpartum in the pandemic times.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me, right? Okay, cool. I see nodding. Hi, I'm Yasmin Yasmin. I'm a visual storyteller and photographer based in Minneapolis, Minnesota, in the Twin Cities. My contact information is here, just give you off the jump in case the internet goes out, who knows. Instagram there and my website. So my work I'm generally a commercial and editorial photographer, but I really started out as a painter and as a sketcher as a young child. And then I moved towards photography, but actually my training, I was trained in genetics and microbiology, and I work in public health. So I'm making a big like shift into full-time photography, hopefully. But generally about my work, I think I really like to play with light and color and really highlight my East African storytelling background to really tell storytelling with my images as much as I can, but also really highlight what I like to call environmental portraiture. So really just showing off the quiet and stillness and beauty. And so I grew up in the Pacific Northwest, and everything's just so naturally beautiful there. And I think the earth kind of is just like a monument unto itself. And so that's kind of how I started. And I really like to lend that kind of work now into the more intimate portraiture and work that I do in my commercial and editorial work. Obviously, that kind of work kind of really helps fund my personal like passion projects, which I'll be talking about today. But I do like to lend that kind of stillness and that beauty and tell a different narrative about everybody into the work that I do, whether it's portraiture, whether it's fashion, or whether it's a personal project highlighting just general areas, environments, and like the way we relate to the environments that we're in and how we become kind of composite or part of it. The project that I'm working on right now is something I've been thinking about for a very long time, and it's a photo book that I'll be working on. The idea, I think, it'll actually be an anthology of photo books, but it will generally cover
pre-pregnancy, post, but my first one will be about the postpartum stage. And this is where I'll highlight a lot of the experiences that I had just with like health and wellness, but then also just like my journey in creating the 40-day postpartum period after I had my daughter during the pandemic. So from the heritage that I come from in East Africa, there is a period of 40 days called umul, where you're supposed to have a particular set of foods and rituals. And you're supposed to have community actually come and live with you in your home. And because I didn't have that during the pandemic, I had to recreate that period for myself. And so I'm actually going to be, and I did document a lot of it, whether it's through notes, and actually I documented a lot of my like health records as well. So this photo book will also take on a little bit of a lab notebook, kind of like heralding a little bit of my experience as a researcher as well. So yeah, that's like, I really tried to stick to the 3-minute thing. So yeah, that's it. Thanks everybody.
So good.
Good work.
Okay, and for my group, the next person up is going to be Yasara, and she's a photographer, and she's been working on documenting some travel she's done during the workshop. She's been every week checked in from a different place, it seemed like. So Yasara, go ahead.
Hi everyone. Hold on, we're doing it. Okay, great. Perfect. So like we just talked about, I am an LA-based photographer, and for this showcase, I was able to go take a little train trip, from New York to San Francisco-ish area. And I was able to really use this time to kind of like just observe and be quiet. And the train like allows like a lot of stillness, and it's a really great place to people watch. And a lot of people take this train trip kind of just for the views and just for the scenes, and reflect on like small details and quiet moments. And even though I was taking the trip with a friend, it was really easy to step away and just look around. And I have always been interested in train travel, and thought that this would be kind of a good challenge, you know, to like force myself on this long train trip, and see if I go a little crazy. We didn't, which is fine, so we're good. But basically, this was also a really good exercise for me, again, spending time alone, because I'm someone that isn't very good at hanging out by myself. And when you're on a train, there isn't always service, and there's always a lot of downtime rather. So it was a great practice in slowing down, being aware of the light around me, being aware of landscapes around me, and just taking it all in. And it was interesting to see like people who were solely taking the trip for travel, and seeing people who were taking it to get from point A to point B. But basically, I just wanted to document the experience, the quiet moments, and the shared experience as well. You could see people who were living pretty much like spending all of their time in these observation decks. And people get really excited and really giddy based off of the different views. The train conductor does a great job pointing out all the bald eagles, etc. But overall, this experience for me was kind of just forcing myself to work within the restraints of the train, of, you know, there's like 5 minutes at stops to get down. So I wanted to stay on the train and really limit myself in that way. But overall, it was just good, quiet reflection, and forced time. This is a quote from talking with my friend Janelle earlier today, and kind of reaffirming like travel, taking the time to be by yourself, and kind of making work that you're basically fully immersed in. So that is my 3-minute spiel. And this is my showcase. So thank you so, so much. Yay!
Great images, great images.
Beautiful, just beautiful.
Orange.
Thank you.
Okay, and that brings us to the end of my group, except for me. And I just want to say I'm so proud of my group, and it took everything I had not to like mother hen the whole time. So, and I will share my screen for mine. I am a photographer in Toronto, Ontario, but the project I chose to do it for this was not a photography project. I'm basically launching a side business for something I've been doing for years on my own, but just recently got training to do professionally, which is basically helping people at the end of their life get their affairs in order and do all of that. So I did the website over the course of this, over the course of the workshop, and I can just show you some of the information that I've done and the website that I've created over the whole process. But basically what I've been doing is getting branding together, getting socials together, and using some of my own photography in here, and I will be adding some more. But just basically getting this business ready to go with everything that I needed. So that's basically what I've done for the whole of the workshop. Mine's going to be a little bit less than 3 minutes, but basically I just wanted to get the website done, to get that ready to go, to get things ready to launch, and hopefully I will be able to get everything fully launched in the new year. And that's the end of mine.
Yay! Looks so good.
Congratulations.
It's so needed. So needed.
Dan, I'm up. So if you want to.
And Betsy, are you with us?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm so sorry. I have my earbuds in and I apologize. Having technical difficulties. This is Van. I'm Betsy. I'm sorry. You know, there's something about women being able to mute their men. Okay, just saying. Okay, you're all supposed to laugh now because he's laughing. Can I just say thank you so much for, I want to, every single time we are able to be a part of this Art of Freelance Showcase, can I just say how honored we are to have this opportunity just to be part of seeing your work. You know, it takes an incredible amount of courage, curiosity, and just plowing through when you're not necessarily confident and you're just thinking, okay, I think this is the right way to go. But can I just tell you that you know, not that everybody previously hasn't been fabulous, but I'm inspired every single time that we get to see your presentations. And don't think that there aren't people that are noticing you or that don't appreciate you and that you're not going to get there to the finish line. Because every time you put yourself out there and you get to that finish line, there's always going to be a next and a next and a next. And you're bringing a lot of beauty and a lot of light to things that need to be said and need to be seen and need to be heard. So you saw our video. Sorry that we weren't in there. Just very quickly, I'm Betsy Davison. My silent partner, Van Gothner. We are Space for Arts. I'm sorry, it's been a really long day. We have had the absolute honor and pleasure to partner with Matthew Young and Connor and so many talented people. Think of us very quickly as the Airbnb version of a platform where you can find professional production studios. we're trying to innovate and bring and elevate sort of the technology so that it makes it incredibly easy to find, to sort, to search, to hold, and to book a production studio. Eventually, we're going to expand into locations, but one of our very great pleasures is to support all of you and all of your work. So thank you so much for allowing us to be here tonight. Sorry, Matthew and Connor, if we got a little carried away. Linnea, fabulous to see you again. And some of you, you know, if you find yourself here again at Art of Freelance, it's a wonderful thing. And I was so inspired to hear that some of you came back again for a second time or a third time or a fourth time, because I'm telling you right now, Matthew Young is one of the greatest, you know, I call him a GOAT, greatest of all time. And he inspires and he allows all of you to come to the forefront in one of the greatest venues. And we will be here forever supporting Art of Freelance and all of you. And thank you so much. And we can't wait to see your work again.
Thank you so much, Betsy and Van, Silent Van.
Silent Van. Okay, I'll fix the technology. Sorry. Yeah. He hears that.
I think that was really a perfect summary for the evening. And yeah, wow, thank you so much, everyone, for sharing so much incredible work. Just a reminder, we will be back here at the same time tomorrow to see a lot more great work from a lot more great artists. So hope everyone can join us tomorrow night. And thanks again, everyone.
Great work, everyone.
Great work.
Thanks, y'all. Take care.
Hi, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, bye, everyone. Have a good one.